Hi there, Aries. Welcome back. Look what my cat did to me. Oliver. My hand was swollen yesterday, but it's gotten a lot better. Anyhow, yeah, he jumped and got himself stuck. He got his leg stuck, poor baby. He was just like dangling there. His leg got stuck in this metal chair that I have, and then his body was just hanging there because his leg was stuck between two pieces. And he was screaming. And then Blue, she's so mean. She goes over there and just starts slapping him around to shut him up. And I was trying to help him. She got him all upset because he was already in pain. So he starts biting me, but I couldn't let him go because if I let him go, then, if I let him go, he's just going to be stuck there. So I had to keep going. So I was trying to help him out. And he just kept biting me and scratching me. He's okay. He's fine. I'm the one that was all beat up. I'm the one that got pretty bad. It actually hurts a lot worse than it looks. These are like deep wounds. But you know what? It's a good thing he has his rabies shots because I would be really nervous if he didn't. All right, Spirit, let's get into this. Give us a clear, concise message here for Aries, please, and thank you. A clear, concise message here for Aries. If you're new here, if you're a cross watcher, my name is Ninja and I'll be your reader. Aries, it looks like you're trying to build something here. You might have been going through a very difficult time financially. Okay. It looks like you've been going through some kind of hardship financially. Um you might be feeling pressured to make a decision here. Okay? Certain decisions. You might feel like, you need to hurry up and do something and make up your mind about something here. Because you're feeling pressured, like you need to hurry up and get something done. There's something here I feel like there was something here that you might not be seeing. Okay. It's very good. It's a clear, concise message here for Aries, please and thank you. Aries, it looks like you might not be using your intuition. Things are not turning out the way that you were hoping. Things are not coming in the way you were hoping. You're going through a hard time right now. Maybe you were receiving money and now you're not. Okay, or you were expecting some kind of money and it's not coming in. You might also be holding on to things that no longer serve you, but you have some kind of attachment to these things. It's like things that you feel like you need, but you really don't need. Okay, I see something's taking its time. Like you've been waiting for something to come in and it's not coming in, and because of this, you might be well. You're feeling like you've been held back for one, and two, it's like it's draining your energy. Okay, something here is draining your energy, making you feel like you have to struggle really hard. You have to struggle really hard to be very tight with your finances. It's like the things that you want to do or things that you want to get done, you can't do it at this time. And it's like the more you try and try, it's like it's never enough. Something whatever it is that you're trying to do for money or to get your stability back, it just feels like it's never enough. I see somebody here who might be clinically depressed, right? Like somebody's getting so depressed, like it's getting to the point where you might need some help with that. Okay, and this might be just for a couple of you, but I'm seeing somebody getting really depressed and just feeling really hopeless about the future. When you lose hope, when you lose hope, That's when things get really dangerous. And I'm actually really concerned about that, because when a person loses hope, that's a really dangerous line, because when somebody holds on to hope, that could make the difference between surviving and not surviving. I hope I'm making sense there, but the whole thing about hope is a very ingrained piece of us. Hmm. So you've been through a really hard time. You might also be moving too fast, like trying to do something too fast. Okay? You're making decisions, and these decisions seem to be leading you down the wrong road. Okay? Um it's kind of like you're trying to rush, or you're panicking, or something like that. Like you're panicking, and you're just trying to make a decision because you feel like you are being rushed into something, and it's really bothering you that things aren't working out the way that you were hoping. I feel like you already know that this way of doing things is not good for you. Okay, because that's what I'm hearing. So you know that this is not good for you, but for some reason you can't stop. You just keep doing something over and over again. Hmm. You might be feeling like you don't have the discipline to do something, but you do. Or you might struggle with discipline, okay? Disciplining yourself is actually a really hard thing, you know? That is something that a lot of people struggle with. It's not, cuz when somebody else is expecting you to do something, it just pushes you to get it done, right? But when you have to push yourself, that's when things can be really hard. Especially when you have to discipline yourself. It's like, how do you discipline yourself, right? Like, how do you know what to do, and how do you know which way is the right way of doing things, right? You don't. You just have to trust yourself. So right now it's like you're not trusting yourself. I would suggest you go ahead and make a list, and then visualize it. Visualize yourself doing things, and make sure you give yourself enough time. I think the biggest downfall is when you expect too much from yourself, okay? Or expect yourself to do more than what you're actually capable of doing, or any human being is capable of doing, right? Like expecting yourself to, like, and some people can, don't get me wrong, but like get up at 5 a.m. and go for a 10-mile run, come home, clean the house, and go to work, and then get off of that job and go for a second job. And you know y- we're not all the same. Some people can, I mean, some people, they can do it, but then something has to give, right? Something has to give in order for you to be able to do it all. I mean, it's either going to be like your health is going to pay, or something is going to lack in some kind of way. So you might just feel very unstable at this time. Um, so the best thing to do is just sit down and make a plan there, and give yourself plenty of time to do things and plan out your day. And then once you get into a habit of something, or start one habit at a time to build yourself up, because if you try to push yourself too fast, too, because that's what it looks like, you're pushing yourself really fast here to do something, it doesn't stick. You have to, like, it's kind of like bad habits. Bad habits, they don't just happen overnight, right? We get bad habits by doing something over and over and over, right? Well, the same thing is for good habits. You have to do something over and over and over, right? Somebody around you gave you some broken promises here, and it's really let you down, made you feel really sad here, and it's caused you to it's lowered your morale. Let's just put it that way. It has lowered your morale. I see somebody here who's not finishing what they started, okay? So that seems to be a problem, along with you trying to start a new routine or thing, you know, not finishing what you started. You know, that's a tricky one, because the thing about that is that sometimes you got to know when to give up, you know? Sometimes you got to know when to give up one thing. You got to know when to keep pushing forward. It's kind of hard. It is a tricky thing to do. You know, I've had to learn to like give up, you know, especially when something started costing me a lot of money. I had to learn to give up certain things. But because what happens is, okay, like say I'm going to give you an example. You try to start a business, right? And you put in 10,000 into this business, right? And you're like, no, I've already gotten this far. I'm going to keep trying and keep going. And then you put more money into it, more money into it, more money into it. And before you know it, 2 years is down the road and you've already spent like so many thousands of dollars, and it's not business is just not picking up, right? And I've seen people do this where they go down that rabbit hole and they just like, no, I've already come this far. I got to keep going, and they just keep going, and it just doesn't work out, right? So there is times when you have to learn to give up, and there is times when you got to learn to push yourself, right? Which can be really difficult. when when is it okay to keep pushing yourself, and when is it okay to just give up? That's the question, right? That's a hard question. I do see here somebody gave you some broken promises. Okay. This could have been from a Gemini. This person gave you some broken promises, and it's like they ma- they they made you feel like you should just go for something, okay? Like they made you feel like, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to help you, or I'm going to give you the tips that you need. Something like that. This person pretty much like didn't seem to really have what it takes to do this, okay? So because they didn't have the what it takes to hold up their end of the situation, you're stuck holding this whole big plate of stuff over here, right? You might be in a cycle where you're working, 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 and you're not really enjoying life at all because of it, which, you know what, that makes sense why you would be going through this depression now, right? Because if you're going through this depression, well, that would make sense because you've had such a huge loss of effort and time and finances and working, 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 and not really enjoying life. I mean, that is a huge imbalance right there. And working, 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 and just feeling like there's no end in sight. You seem to have taken a chance here, and things are not working out. Hmm. You know, when things don't work out in one area, it just means that God wants you to go in a different direction, you know, or get creative. Maybe you feel like you missed an opportunity. Well, it looks like you feel like you missed an opportunity here, and now it's making you feel nervous because you feel like, you know, you lost out. It looks like you had a lot betting on this, right? Like you had a lot betting on this. Like you were expecting to receive a large amount of money from this, and it didn't pan out, right? But it just means that God wants you to go in a different direction, okay? That's the key here, is going into a different direction. You will be celebrating though. You know, you might want to get creative. Getting creative has helped more people be more successful than doing things the way other people do things. So whoever this person is that has been giving you advice and telling you to go for it and they were going to be there for you, um don't listen to that person, okay? You might want to just scratch everything that that person has told you and get creative. Think outside the box, okay? That's like the universe is about to come in and give you something here. You do have a blessing that's coming in. You do have happiness coming in, but it's not going to be without a price because it looks like that person, the one that was supposed to be like part of this with you, okay, like the person that was supposed to come in and help you here, they're going to be angry about this situation. I see them as trying to sabotage you because they're going to be angry because, you know, they didn't put any effort into it, but they're going to be expecting to receive something out of it. So I don't know why this person thinks that. When I see here that you lost some money from this deal or whatever this deal was, you're the one that lost money out of this. But for some reason, this person's like mad because oh, they're mad because you left them behind and you started planning things yourself, which is the energy that you're about to switch into. So if you're still in this energy over here of feeling depressed and, you know, not knowing which way to turn, your energy is about to change up here. Okay, just so you know. And when you do, you're going to start planning things out yourself, right? And that's why this person's going to be mad because they're like, wait a minute, I gave you these ideas, Aries. You know, I helped you out here, right? No, you're an Aries. You're not going to sit around and wait for this person. Okay? No. This person's going to come back around. They're going to want to fight with you and argue with you. And they're going to, it looks like they're bringing people with them. Okay? They're bringing people with them. Tell me more about that. So it's like this person's like, oh, you know, like start this new business and you're gonna do good, you're gonna do this and do that, and they don't tell you how to do things. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, this person's gonna be claiming that you were sneaky, you were being sneaky, you were being like you snuck around behind their back to become successful without them. You're gonna have some success. Okay, it's coming in, but this tells me like that person's gonna be like, oh, you know, Aries snuck away and left me behind, and Aries is getting all this money, and look what Aries did. Aries is being sneaky over there, and you know, picking up everything and just taking off, and this person's gonna act like you betrayed them here, just so you know. Okay, they're gonna act like, you know, you victimized them, you did this to them because you moved on, but you have to move on because you're gonna go for success, right? You have a blessing coming in here. Let's look into that. But this could be coming in from a water sign, so maybe a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, or they're attached to this blessing in some way. That person's gonna be spying on you, okay? Wow, okay. Tell me more, Spirit. Tell me more. You're gonna get this success that you've been wanting, Aries. It's just taking a long. It's just taking a lot longer than you were expecting, but it definitely is coming in. You're gonna have time to relax. You're gonna have time to relax here. You might be going to like a spa or something, okay? Because I'm hearing that like somebody here is gonna be going to a spa or a retreat, a cruise ship, somewhere where you could relax. I don't see you doing this at home. I see you doing this somewhere else. I see you traveling and going somewhere else. Okay, so you're gonna have an opportunity here with the water sign, and it might be because you're traveling to some place. I I'm picking up like somebody's gonna get like some kind of rest, or you're gonna go to an R&B, or you're going to go to some kind of place where you can meditate. Maybe go on a camping trip, right? You could do something like that. That's where you're gonna come up with a wonderful idea. Okay, when you go to this place, right? That's where you're going to end up coming up with a great idea. Something is gonna come toward you, like it's gonna hit you or something. Okay. And this person over here is going to be angry because they don't have access to you. So whoever this is, I feel like it might be a friend, could be a family member, okay? Because I'm seeing a broken family home here. So, or like disputes in the family. So this might be a family member that's like, oh yeah, I sell. I don't know. I can't think of what they sell, but like, let's say they're telling you, oh, they sell I don't know, cell phones, right? And they're like, oh, all you gotta do is this, this, and that, right? But then they leave you hanging, not really explaining to you about how to get this business on the road, right? So they leave you there, and you're all depressed because you invest all this money into this and time and energy into this, right? And then you go ahead and because you're feeling defeated over here, right? So you're like an overthinking, so you finally go ahead and distance yourself from the situation, which is what you should do, right? And then boom, it's like everything comes into play, everything comes together, everything just, you know what I mean? The universe just comes towards you and gives you what you need. And then you take that and you roll with it. Remember, like I just said, like, um, like, thinking outside the box or something, right? Like you come up with thinking outside of the box here, right? And then you change your position, and when you change your position you look at things differently, right? I'm seeing a person who's just starting into a business adventure. You're going to be happy with this adventure. I feel like you're going to do this by yourself. You're going to do it solo without that person. You're going to figure it out all on your own. And when you do, that person's going to get angry because you didn't do things exactly the way that they did, but because you're successful and you're going to be more successful than them, because I'm seeing huge promotion here. So that person's not going to like it, Aries. They're going to be mad. Okay, but what can you do about it? They weren't there to help you, right? They weren't there to push you forward when you were depressed. They weren't there. They're going to try to guilt trip you. So don't even let them start that, okay? Don't even let them start that. They were supposed to be there with you, guiding you through this. You know what it reminds me of? I had got this job when I was, let me think, how old was I? 18. I was 18 and I got hired as a cook. I never worked as a cook. But the lady was like, oh, don't worry, I'll train you. This was for a big facility, right? She was like, oh, it's so easy. The instructions are so easy. Anybody could cook and this and that and this and that. I don't know how to cook. I was 18. I didn't really know how to cook. I knew how to do scrambled eggs, boil an egg, but I didn't know how to like make these dishes that she was wanting me to do, you know? And she was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. She never came to help me. She really didn't come and teach me anything. And then she was mad because I didn't know how to do it when she didn't do it, when she wasn't there with me, right? I mean, I learned how to cook eventually, right? Like those kind of foods that she was making. What was it? Meatloaf. Yeah, I never ate meatloaf in my life before. How am I supposed to know how to make meatloaf? You know what I'm saying? I grew up on rice and beans and tortillas and enchiladas. That I know how to make. Meatloaf? Who? I didn't even know people ate meatloaf at that time. I never ate meatloaf. Meatloaf was one of them. What else was it? There was some other stuff. Now I know how to make meatloaf. But at that time, I didn't know how to make it. Nobody told me I had to put crackers in it. Well, anyways, the point is that I got out of that job. This is what I was talking about. You gotta know when to quit, right? I got out of that job. But the point is that you're going through this, right? You're gonna do it your way, okay? You're gonna figure it out. I could have figured it out too if I had internet back then or something, but I didn't have internet. I didn't have Google, and the nearest library was kind of far, so I wasn't gonna go all the way to the library trying to figure this stuff out. But anyways, point about it is she wasn't there. She didn't train me. She didn't help, right? This person's not training you. This person's not helping you. So they don't deserve anything. I'm going to tell you something. This person's going to come towards you and be like, oh, well, you owe me 20%, or I want 15% of your profits, or some BS like that. Don't give them nothing, because you're the one that's doing all this hard work trying to figure things out by yourself. That person is not the person that came to help you in the first place. They puffed you up here, okay? They puffed you up. They blew a lot of smoke, basically. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then they left you high dry. So no, they don't get nothing. Nothing. You figured it out yourself. Okay? And that's what I'm getting. You're gonna figure this out. And look at you standing in your power, making things happen for yourself. You're a lot stronger than you know, Aries. That's the point. You're a lot stronger than you know. You know, yes, you know you're strong, but you're a lot stronger than you know. Okay, and getting depressed and all that. Well, you know what? Everybody goes through it. Everybody goes through it, but then you come out like Rocky, right? With your fists up in the air and ready to fight. And that's what you're going to do here. And that's why you're going to be celebrating and being happy and just filling up your cups. Yeah, you dropped a cup there. That's that person, but so what? Look how many cups are still standing, how many cups are still full. Okay? You can't make everybody happy, Aries, right? And I'm sorry that this is your family member. That's really sad that they would do this to you. Okay. And it's really sad that they're expecting to profit off of your success. But don't let them. All right, Aries, I'm going to get out of this one. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Catch me in the next one, guys. All right. Let me know how your Halloween was. Y'all take care. Bye bye.